was awful.
Yeah, you gotta hold it longer.
I shouldn't be that guy. Good thing I'm not that guy. What's
Don't
his name?
Michael Buffer.
Michael Buffer. That's it.
Michael Buffer.
And then his brother does the UFC one.
Right, and his name is Bob Buffer.
Is it Bob Buffer? I like it. I'm gonna go with it.
It. If it wasn't, it is now.
Yeah. Alliterations on that one.
Yes.
Okay, so I googled Michael Buffer, and
Yeah.
like the third option was brother
Yeah.
There you go. No one ever knows his name.
Bruce.
Ah.
Oh,
Oh,
it's like Bruce Banner.
it is. And who's the Hulk?
Not me.
No. Oh.
No, it's not me. It's someone
No.
else.
It's not
Separation?
you. That's too bad.
It's not. It's
Who
not
is-
me.
Who was in? Which one of them was in Creed? Was that Michael or Bruce?
I would be Michael, wouldn't it? He's the boxing guy.
Yeah, Michael's the boxing one.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then Bruce was in. He was in Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
Oh, was he?
If that's yeah,
fine.
if that's a thing, and I only know that because I watched it yesterday. It's not good, and it's not the first time I watched it. But whatever. It is what it is. Are we ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Rabble of Thrones. This week we're going to be discussing Second Sons, the 8th episode of Season 3.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, my name is Chris Taylor. With me in the Rabble HQ, I've got Tyler Hoskin.
Hi.
There we go. It's audio, too. You got to say something. And,
Fuck. Really?
and Mark Bunn.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, 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 indeed.
Audio
So-
podcast.
Audio podcast. Yeah, you gotta, we're on YouTube. So if you're listening to this in audio form, just go to youtube.com/rabblepress and you can watch Tyler drink a beer live on YouTube or later. It doesn't even have to be live. You can watch it later.
You could loop me drinking.
Just
beer.
drinking beer. You know what? It looks like a loop. He drinks so much beer.
Oh.
Basically, I'm saying Tyler's an alcoholic.
Wait, what? No, come on.
So,
Oh.
this episode starts with Arya. She kind of, she wakes up. And so, last time we saw her, the Hound grabbed her, so we really don't know.
And those blue eyes.
Right.
That was
So,
creepy.
she sees the big rock, and she's like, yeah, this is fucking great rock. I'm gonna go smash his skull in with it.
Boom.
And so she's standing over him, holding it, and he wakes up, and he's like, I'll give you one chance. He's like, but you better fucking kill me. And then they're on the horse. So she didn't even try.
Didn't even try.
So they're on the horse, and he's like, you're...
Yeah, it would be a hard task to, as a 12-year-old or 11-year-old girl,
Yeah.
to smash a giant guy with a rock. No
This is
matter
a big
how-
rock, though. This is a big rock.
It was a big rock, but I mean, you still gotta put some power into that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like her chances, though.
Then,
Yeah,
yeah,
if-
but not one shot. One shot, you're like,
Yeah, if you gave her 5,
yeah.
okay.
Why would you give her 5 shots?
Yeah.
All right.
He
Anyway.
felt bad for her.
Yeah.
Right. He did. So he's like, it's lucky that I found you, because there's worse people than me. And she's like, there's no one worse than you. And he's like, yeah, there's guys that would rape you. There's guys that would kill you. There's guys that whatever. And, so they keep riding, and she sees the river, and she's like, I can't even remember
That the
what.
Blackwater?
The Blackwater, right? And he's like, where the fuck do you think I'm taking you? She's like, well, obviously you're taking me back to King's Landing, to Joffrey and the Queen. And he's like, fuck Joffrey. Fuck the Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and she's like, well, where are we going? And he's like, oh, well, I thought you would have heard. I guess the Brotherhood Without Banners didn't tell you that, everyone's going to your uncle's wedding.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take you to your mom and brother since they're gonna be there, and they're gonna pay. They're gonna pay for you. And
Money.
she tried so hard not to smile,
Yeah.
but she smiled. I think that's the first time she smiled in a long time.
In a long time. Since she left Winterfell, basically.
Yeah, really. No, I think she smiled with Sirio, didn't she?
Oh,
when she's
maybe.
having
Yeah,
lessons,
yeah.
yeah.
Her dancing lessons.
When
yeah.
Dad lost his head, that's pretty much.
That's when she hasn't smiled since.
Wait, what?
So
Dead?
Yeah.
No.
so my note, check out the Second Sons. Oh yeah, that's right. So they're like, she's got a hood on, so nobody knows it's her. Daenerys, of course, I'm talking about, and she's with Barristan and Jorah, and they're checking out the Second Sons, which are sellswords, who have been hired by Yunkai to like fight her off.
Yes.
And so she tells them like, "Hey, find their captains, and tell them I want to talk." So the three captains show up, and my note here is the old Dario sucks.
Yeah,
Man, am I glad they changed the actor, because this guy is awful.
Un retard.
So the captains come in, and she gets introduced, and the like, I guess he was the lead captain.
Yeah, he's the guy that makes most of the.
He makes the decisions, and he's like, "I swear I fucked you at some brothel and
Which
yada
I
yada."
totally forgot about this, and then we go to a later episode in a later season,
Yeah,
and it's just hilarious.
yeah, because it actually,
Impersonators.
There she is.
there she is. That's the one. And then he says how she licked his ass.
Yeah. Gave a demonstration, I believe.
Right. Yes, with it. Yes.
But it's- la, 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 la.
So
Again?
yeah.
So, gotta rewind. Yeah.
Oh, there you go, folks. That's your YouTube moment right there.
It's the only way you're getting it again. It's online forever now.
So she, they're
Go ahead, give me.
Sounds pretty.
yeah. So they're, discussing the, how many men each side has, and he's like, "Oh, we faced worse odds than one," and then Barristan's more like, or was it Barristan or Jorah? I think it was Jorah. Faced worse odds and run, more like it, is what he says.
Yeah. It was Jorah that said that.
Right. So whatever, they're shit talking back and forth, and then the main dude's like, "You know what? Like, show me your cunt, and maybe I'll think about fighting for you." And it's like, whoa.
I'm sorry. What?
This is there was two references to female genitalia where they dropped the C-bomb in this episode, which I thought was weird.
It's by the same guy, isn't it?
I don't remember. I have a note. We'll get to it because it's in there. So they leave, and as they're leaving, Daenerys says to Barristan, she's like, when it comes to fighting, she's like, "You kill that one first," and Barristan's like, "Will do."
Gladly.
Will do. So next scene, Melisandre and Gendry arrive at Dragonstone.
Yep.
Right? Is that what it's called? Am I wrong again? Because I think we've been through this before, and I think, or it's Dragon something. And
I will look for you right now.
okay. So she brings Gendry to Stannis, and Stannis like gives him like like grabs him by the chin.
Yeah, Dragonstone, you're right.
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad I'm right about some things. So he can tell just by looking at him. He's like, yeah, this is definitely like,
Yeah, this is mine.
yeah,
He's a Baratheon for sure.
yeah. So she's like, oh, here, take this guy and get him some decent clothes and a bath and whatever. So he leaves, and Stannis is like, well, what are you gonna do to him? And Melisandre's like, well, you know what I'm gonna do. And he's like, so why all the theatrics? Why not just kill him and get it over with? And she uses the lamb analogy. And basically, if the lamb sees the knife coming, then it ruins the meat.
Mm-hmm.
So, so then he goes to see Davos. And so Davos is reading, and man, is it just me, or is it really hard to portray someone learning how to read? Because like it always seems like they have trouble with words they shouldn't have trouble with, and then they don't have trouble with words that they should have trouble with.
Yeah, like the long crazy words is like, oh, I got that one. I don't know, maybe it's hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just difficult to get right. So
And sometimes the bigger words might be easier because they actually they are bigger. They have more syllables, and you probably heard somebody say that bigger word.
right, and phonetically it makes sense.
Yeah, and phonetically it makes sense. However, some of the smaller words, if you were to look at them for the first time, you go, "What the fuck does that say?"
Yeah.
Like the to
Yeah.
So, like the English language is fucking
Yeah.
stupid. Just saying.
So Stannis says to Davos, I'm sorry about your son. I didn't really have a chance to say it to you. But he was a good lad and
Yeah.
whatever. So he tells Davos about Gendry. And Davos immediately is like, this isn't right,
Right.
So he's like, this boy hasn't done anything wrong. And Stannis is like, well, it's war, like you got to do things, and so he goes through the list. He's like, I killed my brother, right? Oh no, because that's right. He says he's blood. Davos says he's your blood, and he's like, well, Renly was my brother, and he's like, well, Renly wronged you. He put a claim to the throne that wasn't
Stole your bannerman.
right. Raised an army like this. He kind of deserved it. I mean, Davos deserved it or not. Davos is at least sort of right.
Yeah.
And you get the feeling that Stannis is there so Davos can talk him out of this, because Stannis doesn't want to do this.
Right.
So, and then Davos drops this line, which ties in great later. He says, "You don't slaughter innocents for gain or glory." Whoops. Whoops.
seasons later.
Whoops.
Ruh-roh.
Don't tell Shireen. So then they get into the god thing, and Davos brings up his kid and says, when my son was little, he woke up and was afraid, said, I don't want to die. And, Davos is like, I wanted to tell him, like, oh, you're never going to die. Don't worry about it. And he says, maybe the gods were made up by people so we could tell our kids that they don't have to die. You know what I mean? So, and then Stannis says, well, whatever it is, I saw the vision of a battle in the snow.
Yeah.
So,
What battle are we talking about?
yeah. So the next scene is Dario and the other captains of the Second Sons discussing whether they should fight for Daenerys or stick with their original.
I watched this scene very closely
I wonder why.
to see whether the titties came out or not.
That's what I was hoping the reason was.
I did. I watched. I was like, okay, I can't take my eyes off the screen. I gotta make sure.
One did.
No.
Listen.
No.
Listen.
No.
Was
no
it an
way.
aerial exposed?
For sure.
No.
There for sure was.
You didn't see the full thing.
Or was it a shadow?
That was not a shadow.
Okay.
So this is gonna be a sticking point, I'm sure.
A tit of contention.
That should be the name of the episode for this one.
We don't name the episodes. They're
I
just
know.
the name of the episode and then recap. Oh, hold on. I'm writing that down for the description. Hang on.
Hashtag tit of contention.
I love it. Tit of contention. All right. So, this scene was really like, I get that it's like setting up for Dario, but
Yeah.
like it really meant nothing. Dario, I guess the important thing is Dario says, I fight for beauty.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, and then they decide that one of them's gonna go in and kill Daenerys in the night, and they draw coins for it. The girl hands them coins, basically. The one whose boobs you do see.
No. If you do see them, you only see one.
Right, you definitely see one. I'm just saying, you definitely see one.
I don't know.
All right.
No. I watched very closely.
I
Because
can't.
they were almost out there.
Yep. No, it was.
Do a frame by frame like analysis of it.
That's what you should do. You need to go back and you watch it at like a quarter speed or an eighth speed.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Fast forward when the dudes are on. You don't. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you don't need that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Dudes. Anyways, so so Dario draws the coin. He's the one who's going to slip in the night and kill her. So Tyrion goes to visit Sansa,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, they're getting married right now. I'm like, that was really fast. Like, it was like yesterday, they're like, hey, we're going to get married, and then today they're getting married.
No
Yeah.
big pomp and circumstance.
That's right. So,
City Hall, real paper sign.
Let's get this done.
so he
I think
asks
that's what
her,
they wanted to get that one over with.
obviously, right? Yeah,
As fast as
obviously.
possible.
And they wanted the baby as fast as possible as well.
Yeah.
Now, on Blu-ray, are there like deleted scenes for any of these episodes? I should ask.
There might be. I don't know. I mean, for me, deleted scenes don't count,
Okay.
right? So like it's not part of the story.
So same with Star Wars then?
Yes,
Okay.
sadly. But I won't know about deleted scenes for Star Wars until tomorrow.
You're not getting a digital copy? I would have thought you jumped all over that.
No, because the Blu-ray comes with the digital copy.
Oh, so you just might as well buy it all in one shot.
Exactly. Okay,
Can't wait
so
tomorrow. Oh my god.
yeah, I told Lindsay, I said, okay, this is totally not Game of Thrones related, but
It could be.
I said to Lindsay, I go, do you have any plans for me tomorrow night? And she's like, no. Why? I'm like, it's Star Wars special features, like literally all night. Like all night, I'm gonna watch.
Brand's in it.
What's that?
Brand's in it.
Sure. There you go. Thank you. Yep. Thank you, Mark. This is why we keep you around.
Game of Thrones tie right there.
There we go. Brienne of Tarth. Although you never see her face,
Nope. You just hear her voice.
you just hear her voice. They could have got anybody.
Yeah. Gwendoline Christie, is that her name?
Yes.
Sounds about right.
And they could have got anybody to be in the armor.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have mattered. So, Tyrion asks Sansa, do you drink wine? And she's like, not really, only when I have to. And he's like, today you have to.
Today you're gonna wanna have to.
So, Marjorie goes up to Cersei in the fuck. What do they call it? The Citadel? Is it a Citadel?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
okay.
I was seen behind, I think.
Right. Yeah, because they're like getting ready for the wedding. I'm like, oh, the church. No, it's not a church. It's like, it's a citadel. So, and they're discussing, Marjorie calls Cersei sister. Says, oh, we'll be sisters soon. And,
The Great Sept of Baelor.
The Great Sept of Baelor. That's right. So, she's like, yeah, we're going to be sisters soon. And, Cersei's like, hey, do you happen to know the story of House Castamere? And Marjorie's like, yeah, I guess. And she's like, well, they were the second richest family in Westeros. Reminds me of someone. And, you never want to be the second richest, the second most powerful. So, yeah, we killed them all and hung their bodies at Casterly Rock, so that way people knew, don't fuck with us. Basically was the gist.
Yep.
Which is awesome that their song, The Reigns of Castamere, is about them slaughtering people.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Just a friendly reminder.
Yeah, in case you don't know, you fuck with us, we're gonna hang your bodies outside our fucking
You make a
keep.
song out of it.
And write a song. A catchy song too.
Yeah. We'll add a verse onto this.
And then
family.
And then she's like, "Oh, by the way, if you call me sister again, I'll have you strangled in your sleep."
Which is a little scary.
Yeah, because Cersei's a cunt and would actually do it.
Yes, this is true.
So
Cunt's been said a lot on this podcast.
yes, this is a mature. We have the E up beside us on iTunes, I believe. So
Oh yeah.
We do.
people should expect
Oh yeah.
boobs and
Explicit.
wieners.
Which we didn't get a wiener in this episode.
We almost got a wiener. Yeah, it was
got a wiener.
pretty close. We got it. Anyways, that's coming up. So then we get to the actual wedding,
The actual ceremony.
right? And Sansa like comes in, and Joffrey walks over all like fucking cocky, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, your dad's not here, so I'm father to the realm, so I'll give you away."
Yep.
And so they walk up the aisle, and I just want to point out one thing. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Tywin's jacket is fucking amazing.
I didn't
It
really pay
is
attention.
Fucking amazing. Anyways, that guy knows that guy,
I just noticed that Braun
right?
or like did a head nod.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I didn't notice that before, but I caught it this time. Like, it was like, wait a second, hang on, what?
Yeah. Sorry,
That
Bron.
was a little weird.
Sorry, say it again. I missed what you said.
Braun did a little head nod
To who?
to Sansa.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is weird. And
At
I
least
missed.
I thought it was Sansa.
I missed him even being there because I had to note why wasn't Bronn at the wedding.
Yeah, he was.
So I didn't even see it. I must have been because I was like, half paying attention. I was like making notes, and I was probably writing Tywin's jacket is fucking amazing, and then I looked over and I missed
no
it.
boobs gonna happen in this scene, so fuck it.
I don't only watch the show for boobs.
Boobs.
So, and then my next note is Joffrey is a dick because they had a step stool for Tyrion at the altar so he could put the cloak over her, which is part of the wedding ceremony.
Yeah.
And Joffrey just picks it up and walks away and puts it down.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, so she's got to bend over and get the cloak put on her, and Joffrey laughs and
Well, a bunch of other people laugh too.
right. And Tywin like gives everybody like the fucking the evil eyes.
Yeah.
So everybody stops laughing because he will literally kill you.
Yeah. He will
And-
lose his shit because he's about to get hammed.
Right. So now we go to Melisandre and Gendry, and Gendry's living the high life, drinking some wine, and then she says dried up cunts at some point. I don't know what it was in reference to, but I made a note of it because it was just so like
Just so
Said
abrupt.
cunt. Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
write it down.
Hey, whoa, rewind.
Somebody seriously? Well, huh?
So she like takes off all her clothes, and
We see both of them in this one.
thank you,
Yeah.
Tyler.
Undeniably.
Anytime. Just saying.
I know I can count on you.
And even though one
And it was supposed to
covered
be
up by the
Mark.
hair,
Mark was supposed to be the
No.
one,
but Mark slacked.
right?
Well,
So
I took over.
Unable to really be regular on this podcast because of the scheduling conflict. So
well, I'm glad Tyler's a good backup, and we know that he really pays attention for it. He'll watch scenes at 1/8 speed to
Yeah.
make sure.
I will take one for the team for this podcast.
I love it. And when Katie comes in and she's like, "What are you doing?" and you're like, "It's research for the show. I have to do it. I don't want to do it.
It's for the good of the show.
I don't want to do it." But Chris makes me. He's fucking terrible.
He's a fucking tyrant. That guy.
Yeah. So she gets him like, on the bed, and at some point she says, "Come fight death with me." I didn't have any context for any of these lines, so I don't even remember. just he doesn't trust what she's doing. You know, he thinks she's up to something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course not.
So finally, he kind of like gives in, and she gets on top and starts going to town. And this is where she like, you know, pulls his wiener out, and like you almost see his wiener.
You almost get Bush too.
Right.
That's
and
how close we get.
That's how close. So, she gets up, so she's like, "Oh, you need to trust me," and then ties him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
This is kinky stuff. You'll like it.
Yeah. So then she starts dropping leeches on him. You know, a couple on his chest, and then he's like,
and one downstairs.
He's like, "No, don't put one there," and she puts one on his dick, and it's like, I saw Stand By Me.
Yeah.
So and you know, Gordy passed out.
He did.
Yeah.
He did not though.
Gendry didn't pass out. No. Yeah. Well, because he's a man. Gordy was
blood.
Gordy was just a child.
Yeah. Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Will.
So then Davos, or she's like, Davos and Stannis come in, and she's like, all of this is Davos's fault. He didn't want me to do the real thing. So I guess they had told her like, hey, don't kill him, just, you know, get some of his blood, because there's power in King's blood.
Davos wanted to see.
Right, he wanted a demonstration
of some proof. Yeah.
Right, so Stannis takes the leeches and he starts throwing them in the fire. He's like, the usurper Robb Stark, throws it in. The usurper Balon Greyjoy throws it in. The usurper Joffrey Baratheon throws it in. So 3 guys, which is weird because, like, I understand that Balon Greyjoy is in rebellion, but we haven't seen him in forever.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it's bizarre that, I don't know. I
have to play like later this upcoming season.
Right, but like, okay, so let's again, if you guys are listening to this or watching this and you're not on current Game of Thrones, I'm gonna spoil huge things right now. So Robb Stark is dead right after this.
Yeah, like next episode.
Joffrey's dead within 3 episodes of this.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
4,
second episode of
episode of season 4. So those 2 worked. If you want to say they worked, they worked.
Sure.
But Balon Greyjoy, like, we're at season 5, and we haven't seen him since season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't, you know, like, so I don't know. Maybe the magic isn't working, and it's just coincidence. I don't know.
Or it might come to play this season.
Right? Exactly. We don't know.
Yeah. Because then she might say, "Hey, when it happens, like, remember when it did that?
Remember? Yeah. Worked. Boom. Fucking Lord of Light, motherfucker.
Did it, man.
So the next scene is is it Marjorie? Yeah, it was Marjorie's grandmother, right? Like saying how all the relations are gonna work.
Yeah, this was a funny scene.
So good. Like, you're gonna be my
own grandpa.
Exactly. That's basically what it ended up being. And Loras was pissed. He's like, fuck this. He gets up from the table and runs off. And Tyrion is just having a fucking blast. He's just bombed.
Out of his mind. As you can see in the picture above.
Right. Yes. Isn't that a great picture?
It's just him looking at his reflection in the bowl.
And Sansa too. She's just like, what the? Why did I do this? So Tyrion's having a blast. Tywin comes over and says, maybe you need to stop drinking wine because you gotta.
I think I liked when they first panned to Tyrion in this scene.
Yeah.
He was filling his wine glass.
Yeah. And
he got it right to the top, and he was so proud of himself.
Yeah.
Looked over at Sansa's like.
So Tywin comes over and he's like, you need to You need to chill out because you got a duty to do tonight. You gotta put a baby in there. Like now.
Like, do it. Like, let's.
Yeah.
Chop chop.
Chop chop right now. So then we go to Cersei like walks away after I can't remember. Someone said something to her.
Well, Sansa gets up,
Right.
and
That's when Tywin comes over.
that's when Tywin comes over, and that's when Joffrey gets up as well.
Right.
Joffrey goes after Sansa.
Right,
Says, how would I come fuck you after my uncle passed out?
Yeah. Because it doesn't matter which Lannister puts a baby in you, as
Yeah.
long as there's a Lannister in there.
Yeah, who fucking cares?
And Cersei gets up,
Yeah,
and
Jesus.
because she told him, "Oh, you should go talk to Marjorie," and he's like, "No, I'm gonna do what I want."
Yeah,
And so she gets up, and she's all pissy, and she's standing by a window, and Loras comes walking over, and he's like, my father, and she's like, nobody cares about your father, and just walks away, like just completely cuts him off.
yeah. Nobody cares what your dad said.
Their marriage looks like it'll be pretty fun. So then Joffrey's like, hey, let's do the bedding ceremony, and Tyrion's like, nah, we're not doing the bedding ceremony, and Joffrey's like, no, come on, take off her dress and pick up my uncle. He's not very heavy, it should only take a couple of you. And Tyrion like slams a knife down, and he's like,
I gotta cut off your balls.
he's like, you'll be fucking your own bride with a wooden cock. And then of course,
Then he starts making fun of himself.
right, and Joffrey obviously was pissed off, and Tywin's like, I think he was just joking, and he's probably had way too much to drink. And then that's when Tyrion starts making fun of himself, and
so much fun there.
yeah,
Drunk Tyrion,
yep.
funny shit.
So then my note here: why wasn't Bronn at the wedding? But apparently he was.
Yeah, he was there.
He definitely wasn't partying.
Yeah, you didn't see him partying, but he was at the ceremony. He did not stay for the reception.
Right, he had other shit to do.
Yeah, like hookers.
Hookers and blow.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
So then they
opium or milk of the poppy. Sorry,
Milk of the poppy.
Milk of the poppy. Yeah. So then they do leave, and they get into their quarters.
Yes.
And Sansa's 14. Fuck.
Yup.
Like, damn.
Son of a bitch. Why
again on I forget which podcast. I think Tay said it. The previous was age of consent was 14.
Right.
Canada.
Oh no, that is absolutely the case. Awful.
Yeah.
So she starts to like undress, and Tyrion's like, no. He's like, I'm not gonna share your bed until you want me to.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, what if I never want you to?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like,
and what he says back is
amazing.
perfect.
Yep. And so my watch begins.
Yeah.
So good.
Just so good.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So then we go to Dario slipping in.
Slipping in.
Well, slipping in. Like
Here
a
or
baller.
there?
Yeah, jump in here or there, whatever. Is this the last time we see Daenerys naked? I think it is, right?
I would say so, yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Because, she's in the tub.
It's awkward. There's weird... it's, gratuitous in this scene. And I with her, I understand it. Because they were actually pretty bad with her.
Yeah.
Her nudity was overly gratuitous.
Yeah, because they did, when she got out of the tub,
Yeah.
they did that whole pan scene.
Right, and it panned right up, from her knee. Actually, no, right from her foot. She steps out, and it pans up. And it's like, none of this is necessary.
Yeah, we don't need to... I get her sitting in the tub.
Right.
And you can see boob just...
Yeah, And that makes sense because that's she's in a bath.
What happens?
Yeah.
But even then, you can just do like a close-up shot of her head.
Right, and
right?
I'm okay. See, I'm okay with it if it's like if it makes sense. But when it's gratuitous, I'm just like it's not like it doesn't serve any purpose.
No.
It's just to like get people off. And like it's creepy.
Weird.
It's creepy.
Yeah, it's weird.
So, okay, so where was I? I was totally like
4 boobs. You were at 4 boobs.
Oh, okay. Well, we're at 4 boobs. Thank you, Daenerys, for making it an even number. I still say it's 5, but
Nope, 4. Sticking to it.
So he brings in the other captains' heads and basically is like, I'm gonna fight for you. And that was
that was pretty much the scene, yeah.
So, and this guy, he's terrible. I'm so glad they recast him because the new Dario is awesome. But this guy,
much better.
Yeah. So Shay comes in the morning to.
He's from Bravos as well.
Who is?
Is Dario from Bravos?
I don't know. Maybe.
His name fits.
I'll look it up.
Well, I know one of them was Bravosi. Because they mentioned it, because they said one guy's from here, one guy's from this, one guy's Bravosi, but I don't know if it was him.
Tyroshi.
Everyone ends with a vowel. It's
Of
like
course.
Italian.
Yes.
But he's from... Yeah, across the narrow sea. But yeah.
Okay. So, Shay's pissy when she comes in the morning, and she sees them all passed out, and she cleans up she goes to clean up the sheets and lifts it up, and there's no blood or anything.
And then she's happy.
So then she's like, oh, they didn't fuck, so that's good. And then that was the point of that scene, which there was a lot of scenes that were just like, yeah, you could have just did this. So then we go to Sam and Gilly staying in the creepy hut. And them just talking about giving the baby a name. And then, don't name him after Sam's dad because he sucks. And as they got there was like one raven that landed on the tree. What are those trees called again? The fucking...
the Godswood? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, thank you. So one raven lands on it. And then like 2 ravens, and then all of a sudden it's like all they hear is like all these ravens, and they go outside and the tree's just covered in ravens. And then all of a sudden they all stop, like crowing or whatever. Is that what you call it?
Squawking.
They stop noises. How about that?
Thank you. And then Mr. White Walker shows up.
Howdy.
Yeah. So
baby.
Sam, he's after the baby. Sam pulls the sword, and he grabs it, and the sword just shatters.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Which is pretty cool. So, Sam gets, like, pushed aside, and the White Walker goes for Gilly, and Sam's like, oh, fuck. He pulls out the piece of dragon glass he has, and then just fucking stabs him in the back with it. And the White Walker shatters. It was actually pretty good. It was actually pretty good because he like falls and you see him like turning into ice, and then he like explodes. The exploding I think was a little much. I think you could have just done the like him turning to ice and then like breaking and falling apart.
Yeah,
I think that might have been a little more effective. But so we know Dragon Glass kills White Walkers, and we also got end credits.
Yeah,
and that was it.
That was it.
It
was a very... Here's a bunch of little pieces of information episode.
Right. Well, I mean, because there might be a big thing happening in the next episode.
What do you mean?
Well, it is the 9th episode of the season.
Oh.
And
I see.
So we're currently we're 20 days.
We're just under 3 weeks away.
Just under 3 weeks away. Oh, boy. Oh boy.
Getting exciting.
So, okay. So we kind of discussed this in Slack, and I think I'm going to discuss it so our listeners know what the plan is. So after season 6 airs, so we're gonna do them pretty much right after it airs live, season 6, every episode. So around 10 p.m. Eastern, we'll go live on YouTube and record this.
Booyah.
It'll probably be more like 10:30 Eastern. Right?
Sure.
Yeah. So you
So
give
we can
us
all get online.
yeah, give us time to get online, get our notes together, everything like that. I know I plan on taking a lot less notes this season. So it's going to be... I think we all need to do a job of, like, just jotting down thoughts and things like that, just so that way we can... Because I want to pay more attention to what's going on than writing down notes.
That's
but
fair.
after this season is over, so after season 6 ends, we're going to do the books. And I figure that we'll have what, 10 months between seasons. But we'll probably take a month off, and then we'll do one book a month until we're done the books, and then go from there. But yeah, I'm figuring we'll do one episode a month just on the books, and the differences between the books and the show and things like that. So everybody's cool with that?
Sounds good to me.
Mark?
Yep, I'm good.
Awesome. And then we can be book nerds too.
All right.
Right? We can be those guys. Although the problem is I've talked to so many people now about the books that I think I have like most of the book stuff spoiled for me too. But
It'll still be interesting to read it, like
right, and
even though or listen to it, or however you're gonna do it.
Right, listen.
But
I'm
it's
listening
like
to
even though like we're rewatching the show and still finding other stuff
tidbits
we may have missed.
Exactly.
So
and there's lots of tidbits that we missed.
Because I've listened to the books once.
Yeah.
The first 4 at least. I didn't do 5, and I did it at work, so I wasn't exactly concentrating as much as I could have.
Right.
So there's clearly things I did miss.
Yeah. So that's where we're going with that. Was there any news or anything I don't think there was anything this week.
John and Greta are actually in love.
That's right. They're like for realsies in real life.
For realsies in life.
I wonder if she says "you know nothing, Jon Snow" to him, like just throughout the day.
Private?
Yeah, like in real life.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
I imagine she does. Like, why wouldn't you?
Just those lines from the going down on her.
That's right. That's all they ever talk about after
that's all they talk about.
after he goes to Chowtown.
That thing with your mouth.
That thing with your mouth. All right. Well, on that note, let me just remind everybody, rabblepress.com is where you can find all of our podcasts. youtube.com/rabblepress. That's where you can check out all our videos. If you want to check us out on Facebook, it's facebook.com/Rabble of Thrones. Yeah, that side. No, sorry. This side. And if you want to check us out on Twitter, it's @Rabble of Thrones. Please give us a follow, a like, all of that stuff. Comment on iTunes. Give us a rating. Tell us what you think. Send me an email, podcast@rabbleofthrones.com. And that's it. I'm done. Have a good week. We'll see you guys next week.
Did anybody see...
Well, I'm going to welcome us then.
Yes, do it. Quick.
Quick, hold on, Tyler. Welcome to Scotch Morning, episode 58.
Go, Tyler.
Okay,
Hashtag finally have our shit together.
Hair today?
Yeah, it was like a mohawk type.
No, he fucking braided it.
It was braided. Yeah, it was awesome.
So he took his hair. He's got that like faux hawk type